Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am finally filming my face mask roundup for you guys on the Formula 10.0.6 line. I've been testing out each of the face masks in the Formula line for quite some time now. They do have 12 different masks in their line, so if you guys are interested in catching any of my previous videos where I'm reviewing each of these masks, then I will leave the playlist for that link down below. But if you guys are interested in hearing my final thoughts on the Formula 10.0.6 mask line, then just keep watching. Alright guys, so like I said, the Formula line carries 12 different masks. They do carry one bubble mask, one gel mask, 4 mud masks, and then 6 separate peel masks. Each of the masks retails for $6.99 except for their bubble mask, which retails for $8.99. As I've mentioned in all of my review videos, usually the Formula line goes on sale at Ulta at least once a month, where you can get their products buy one get one half off. So if you're interested in any of the products, I would always recommend waiting until they go on sale unless you absolutely have to have it. But in my opinion, you probably don't necessarily absolutely have to have any of the products in their line, which we will get into, but I just wanted to mention that and point that out. Before we get into the masks that I would repurchase or recommend versus the ones that I would not, I just briefly wanted to touch on 2 pros and 2 cons that I found throughout the course of testing out the Formula line. First, we'll start with the pros. The first one is the price point. Obviously, it is a very low price point at $6.99. Obviously, skincare is really expensive, especially face masks, and this is a drugstore brand. I do feel like $6.99 is a fair price, especially when you consider that you can get it buy one get one half off usually a number of times throughout the year. So I do feel like it has a nice price point, even though sometimes you get what you pay for with that price point, which again I will get into as we go along with this review video, but that is something I wanted to point out as a pro. The second pro I wanted to point out is just the variety of masks. Like I said, they have a gel mask, a bubble mask, some peel masks, and then also some mud masks. So it's not like they're just carrying one specific mask type. There is a wide range of different masks you can get. Again, there's 12 different masks in their line, so I do feel like they do offer a good variety of masks throughout their line. As for the cons, fragrance is a huge con throughout the entirety of the line. I feel like each and every mask is very, very heavily fragranced, with the exception of the bubble mask, which obviously if you have sensitive skin or if you just have an aversion to fragrance, that is going to be definitely something that's very off-putting or may steer you in the direction to not purchase from the Formula line. So definitely be cognizant of that. That is something that I find to be a huge con throughout the course of like their entire line. And the second is alcohol content. Unfortunately, every single mask in their line has alcohol content, and for most of them the alcohol in the ingredient the ingredients list lists alcohol as sometimes their second or third ingredients, meaning the alcohol content is relatively high in regards to the rest of the ingredients. So if you have dry skin, that is obviously going to be a factor in whether or not this is going to work for you, because obviously alcohol is going to dry out your skin, and it's just not a great ingredient to have in skincare. I know sometimes it's necessary as far as like preserving the product, but I just wanted to also point that out as a huge con throughout the Formula line. Alright guys, next up I want to jump into the masks that I would recommend and repurchase versus the ones that I would not. There are 7 masks in their line that I would not repurchase, and then there are 5 that I would definitely consider repurchasing. So first I'm going to jump into the ones that I would repurchase and recommend. The first is the Total Takeaway Skin Purifying Bubble Mask. As you can tell, I've almost used this entire mask up. I usually use this a couple times a week just before I go in with my makeup in my morning skincare routine, and I really like the way that I feel like this just makes my skin feel more clear and cleansed. And it just takes 2 to 3 minutes to use this mask, so it's a really quick one. This is one that I do plan to repurchase when I finish this one, and this is one that I do feel comfortable recommending. Next up is the Deep Down Detox Ultra Cleansing Mud Mask with orange and bergamot. Like I said, fragrance is a huge factor in the entirety of the line, but the orange and bergamot personally does not bother me. It's probably my favorite scent in every single mask throughout the course of the Formula line. This one I find doesn't irritate my skin or anything like that. It doesn't feel like it dries it out. It actually does feel, and it could be because of the orange fragrance, that it feels like I get a burst of energy from it. So this is one that I would consider repurchasing just because it's a more affordable mud mask, and I did enjoy this one. Next up is the Draw It All Out Skin Detoxifying peel mask with charcoal and plum. This one is a really fun mask. Again, it's a peel mask. The scent on this one is not too bad. This is probably one of the least scented masks in their line. I don't feel like this does a whole ton for detoxifying, but it definitely clears out my pores a little bit. So if you're looking for a more affordable detoxifying charcoal sort of mask that has a fun little twist with the peel aspect of it, then this is one that I would recommend, and this is one that I would also consider repurchasing for my own collection. Next up, this one has been in my collection the longest. This is the Get Your Glow On Skin Brightening Peel Mask with papaya and citrus. Again, heavily fragranced, but this fragrance doesn't bother me. This one I do notice a little bit more of a glow to my skin after using it. It doesn't irritate my skin or anything like that. This one doesn't hurt when you peel it off, whereas I find some of the other ones that I'll mention in my wouldn't repurchase kind of hurt when you peel them off the skin, but this is one again that I would definitely consider repurchasing when I finish it. And then the final mask that I wanted to mention that I would consider repurchasing, but I'm kind of on the fence about this one, is the Be Berry Clear Illuminating Peel Mask with raspberry and acai. The reason I'm on the fence about this one is because of the alcohol content as well as the fragrance. This one is super heavily fragranced and not one that I necessarily love the scent on, but again, I do feel like my skin has a little bit more of a glow after I use this. I feel like it definitely is illuminating. So if your skin isn't sensitive to this and the fragrance isn't off-putting to you, then this is one that I would consider repurchasing or would consider as a recommendation for you guys. But if you can like smell these before you purchase them, I would highly recommend doing that, just because again, some of the scents are super off-putting throughout this line. All right, now jumping into the masks that I would not recommend or consider repurchasing in the order of like least wouldn't recommend to like most stay away from, if that makes sense. So the first is the Pores Be Pure Skin Clarifying Mud Mask with Strawberry and Yarrow. This one isn't too bad of a mask in terms of how it actually functions. I do feel like my skin felt more clarified after using this, but the scent on this is just so off-putting to me that I just can't handle it. This one is probably one of the more heavily fragranced ones. Like, there's just no escaping the scent on this. So for that reason, I don't recommend this and I would not repurchase. And I don't even know if I'll finish this one. Next up is the Be Berry Bright Exfoliating Mud Mask with goji berry and green coffee. This is another one where the scent is just gets me. I actually like this in terms of the exfoliant that it offers, but as far as the alcohol content and the fragrance is concerned, I just feel like this isn't any good, like it's doing no good for my skin. So I'll just use a different exfoliant that actually will do stuff for my skin rather than like irritate it with this. So again, for those reasons, I would not recommend and I will not repurchase. Next up, this one actually would have fallen at the very end, but this one has the least amount of alcohol content, so I had to kind of include it middle of the line. This is the Keep Your Cool Skin Calming Gel Mask with coconut and cucumber. I don't like the scent on this one, and this one does absolutely nothing for me. Like, I just noticed no difference in my skin. Like, it just feels like a waste of time, honestly, to use this. So for those reasons, I would not recommend this, but this one has the least amount of alcohol content. So that's really the only thing that this has going for it. But yeah, this does nothing. So I would not recommend and I won't repurchase. And this is one that I definitely won't even finish off because, again, I just like, there's no point. Next up, I kind of wanted to include this in my recommends / would repurchase, but there's just so much alcohol in this one, or the alcohol content mixed with the fragrance again on this one, just like, ugh. Like, I like this, but I just feel like it's not good for the skin. This is the Be Berry Awake Energizing Peel Mask with Yumberry and Pomegranate. Just too fragranced, high alcohol content. This one actually does kind of hurt when you peel it off, so for those reasons, can't recommend, won't repurchase. Next up, we have the Seaside Glow Skin Hydrating Peel Mask with Algae and Sea Clay. I wanted to love this one. This one's scent isn't too bad, but this is supposed to be a hydrating mask, and this definitely does not hydrate your skin. Again, the alcohol content on this, alcohol is the second ingredient on this, so obviously alcohol is going to dry out your skin. And for a peel mask, how is a peel mask supposed to hydrate your skin? Like, I just don't get how that's supposed to happen. So that kind of like makes me mad in terms of marketing. Maybe you can have a hydrating peel mask, but in my opinion, this is no good. So would not recommend, won't repurchase, probably won't finish this up. The last two are both part of the Be Berry line. Anything in the Be Berry line was very heavily fragranced for me, and I just couldn't really do it. But this is the Be Berry Smooth Moisturizing Peel Mask with blueberry and pineapple. Again, a moisturizing peel mask just seems kind of like an oxymoron to me. This is super heavily fragranced in terms of like, I definitely did not like the fragrance, and I just felt like this did nothing for my skin. So for those reasons, this is a no-go. And then finally, I have the Be Berry Fresh Balancing Mud Mask with bilberry and neroli. Again, fragrance on this. I felt like this one out of all of them dried out my skin the most. I felt like my skin felt tingly and warm when I used this, and not necessarily in a good way. So this one was my least favorite of all of them. Really hated the fragrance, really didn't like the way that this made my skin feel, and for those reasons I won't recommend a repurchase. Alright guys, so those are my feelings on each of the individual masks. I just wanted to briefly mention who I would kind of recommend this line to, and for me it would be people on a budget, because obviously, like I said, $6.99, and you can usually get them on sale. That's a pretty fair price tag. So if you're just delving into skincare, or don't know what you like, or you don't have a ton of money to spend on skincare but you want a couple of masks, I would recommend maybe the 5 that I mentioned as ones that I would maybe repurchase. And then I would also recommend these just like young, maybe teenagers who want like a fun thing to do at a sleepover. That's just like what instantly pops into my mind for some reason. So those are who I would recommend it to. Who I think should avoid is anyone with dry or sensitive skin. Again, such a high alcohol content is going to dry out your skin. If you have sensitive skin, it could break you out and things like that. So I would definitely be careful if you have dry or sensitive skin. And then overall, you guys, this line was just subpar to me. I really do like the bubble mask, and I'm excited to repurchase that. But as far as the rest of the masks are concerned, they're definitely, none of them rank in like my favorite masks, and I definitely have masks in my skincare collection that I like a lot more than any of the formula line masks. So let me know in the comment box below, you guys, what masks you've tried from this line. Maybe you have dry or sensitive skin and these masks work for you and I'm just wrong. Let us know in the comment box below. So those are just kind of my thoughts and feelings on the entirety of the formula line. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this series. If you have any recommendations for a mask line that you want me to try next, let me know in the comments below. I'm going to start doing Mask Monday rather than Face Mask Friday videos, and I do plan to do the Peter Thomas Roth mask line for my next line. But again, if you guys have any recommendations for ones that you want me to do in upcoming months, then let me know. Other than that, you guys, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, don't forget to do so before you go, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.